Seek out the death of those who desecrate the world. I will purge this land of incompetence. The likes of drones I will detect and destroy belligerents. Waiting, living, eating, bleeding, eating, living, wanting. I left my right where I left it. So I stopped to ask. I wrote a letter to someone, I don't know who, so maybe that's why I never arrived. Seeking something different is the same. It's just a matter of doing something. Most of the time it's anything. But people will do anything to rationalize a reason to do something. And once you've rationalized what you're doing, then you can go about doing it either needlessly or mindlessly. Now, if you don't do, if you don't go, if you're not in the affirmation of something, then it gets to a point where you literally take the edge off and everything becomes dull. And dullness leads to boredom, and boredom leads to depression, and depression often follows by hatred and agony and self-defeat and perpetuated dislikes for things arbitrary and spectacular. And unfortunately, that's something that happens for people who decide that enough is enough. And not in the sense that enough is enough in the need of change. Enough is enough in the sense of information. How much do you know? How much do you need to know? Does it pertain to what you're doing? Is it necessary for what you want to gain? Much like a lot of things, it's like a magic trick. It's happenstance whether or not that you find it interesting or not. But the magic of the trick and the wonder afterward is completely gone after explaining it fully. Why can't the truth be something of beauty, not the ugly truths to ugly lies, to uglier shame? It's also a waste on some counts, but I would think that depends. It always freaking depends. It's not so much the fact that there was a murder on the dance floor, it's not so much a life. I think it's just some guy who was like, you know, super white with no kicks. Get my drift? I hope you see what I'm saying, or else you're going to jail. You'd better move up, get the hell down, make some crackers, freak to the white trench people inside the opposite corners. You once knew the secrets to skin, and the skin of which you would carve the meat of breakfast things, the pieces of which you would consume. Take in the power, understand the spirit, hold nothing without true compassion. You have to move, seriously, get the hell out of my room. Get the hell out of my room and dance with me. Hello? Welcome to Egypt. I once had a mission. Then I was like, this is nothing like compensation. So they cave in and give me commission. Then I tell them it's less than what I save. They told me it's more than what I had to earn. Sometimes when I think thoughts about certain feelings, I start to feel things from different thoughts. Hey! I told you to wait! I don't want to go to the temple! They sell people with leech juice on their face for pretty pennies! No! Like before a long time, I mean, this prevents anthropology. I know people with more attitude than a New York ogre going through heat, as well as an anxiety attack. Now that is attitude.
I'm wondering if I can find something that looks like what I'm looking for. I need to find it fastly.
So then she was like, TV, and I was like, oh, okay. Then she was like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, so then what? And then she was like, I want to be thrown into a vat of molten lava. So I was like, dude, kinky. And then she was like, no, molten boron. Like you know it. And I was like, no, I don't. And then she was like, ah! And I was like, dude, I can't do that. And then she was like, ah! And I was like, what the hell are you doing? Now and then I have these thoughts. I call these thoughts the maybe thoughts. Like, am I sure this is a thought? Or, could I be ahead of myself on this thought? Then it boils, and you let rest for almost a whole 10 minutes. You let the thoughts simmer down, and then sit back, and then think things like, if only this poison was sex, I wouldn't slowly be turning into a corpse. No, I would be in the middle of something glorious and magical. The ultimate interaction between a man and a woe. Romans stole the land, but not the dignity, not the sense of country. They knew something special. They knew how to split the atom. They split it, oh yes. With this, they turned the oceans of fire into water and broke the time lapse of the earth. because back then we were immortal. They also decided to inherently use the mouth as a means to convey the words we once spoke mind to mind. So now it's short-range radio waves that we take as voice and not thought. Although we have developed means to actually make a voice, and only know now that we need to think to speak, when in fact it was once the other way around. Sad but true, true but wrong.